This episode of the All About Pigeons podcast is brought to you by the International Pigeons 2026 calendar by Nate Abbott, featuring real pigeons from around the world. No AI, no stock photos. This calendar highlights 12 beautiful pigeon breeds and celebrates the hobby we all love month by month. It makes a great gift for the pigeon lover in your life, and it's also a perfect item for your local pigeon club raffle or fundraiser. To get your copy, just search International Pigeons Calendar by Nate Abbott online or find it on Etsy. Welcome to the All About Pigeons podcast, brought to you by the All About Pigeons nonprofit organization, which is dedicated to promoting education and promotion of the pigeon hobby. Every week, a listener requests to drive our conversations about all things pigeons. Join me, Philip Fry, as we learn and share stories about these incredible birds and this ancient hobby.
Hey, how you guys doing? Today we have a special guest for the All About Pigeon podcast. We have, excuse me, sir, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Philip Fry.
Philip Fry. Oh, I heard that name before. Wasn't that in a TV or something like that, right?
Yeah, I got to get the rights back to that. They're using some kind of cartoon.
But he's Philip J. Fry. I did
That's
research.
right.
You're Philip Francis Fry, right?
That's right. Yep. A little different.
Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. And for those who don't know me, my name is Cameron Datanagan, and I'm all the way here in the Pacific Ocean in Hawaii. A little bit about myself. I've been with pigeons for the past 56 years. I'm 56 years old. But Dad had pigeons since he was young. So I've always been around pigeon. Back in the old days, 70s, we used to race. 80s, we used to race. There was no thing about social media. So everything was about writing. So to learn about pigeons, you had to read a book. Sure enough, there were TV shows, DVDs, VHS tapes. So you watched and you learned. Then you always read articles about, what's it, American Pigeon Journal. Then the Facebook came about. So for those who know my name, yes, my family, ning.com, MySpace, and Facebook, Instagram. I've been always with the social media. I never got into podcasts because I'd never had the patience to it. But I have a special honor to introduce or do a little interview with my friend, Philip Fry. Okay, so that's about me. And now let's learn about Philip Fry. Are you okay?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, it's going to be fast. We're not doing it now. To begin with, what was the longest interview you did?
I think it was with the Pigeon Fancier out of Canada who does the one loft races and the auctions.
Oh, okay. That's not the Pipa guy, right? Not Pipa, right?
Not Pipa. That one was only like 30 minutes with Pipa. Feel bad I can't remember it. It was like over a year ago, but that interview went for like over an hour.
I see that you have a nice setup now.
Yeah, try to make it sound as good as I can.
Okay, so for those who know me and watch my videos on YouTube, I do 5 questions. My 5 questions can either go, if you go on my YouTube channel, I do 5 questions for family, 5 questions for my church ministry, and I also do a different set of 5 questions for the pigeon people. So little thing about you with the camera, with the resources to record your family members before they go, because nobody knows when they're really going to leave us. Get a camera, go with your oldest uncle or somebody that you care for. You ask, who are you? Where are you from? Where's your family? What do you love? And what do you want to say? That 5 questions can be answered in so many different ways, but only can be answered by the person. Once again, who are you? Where you from? Who's your family? What you love? And what do you want to say? And with church, we kind of adjusted. But with pigeons, we're going to do the 5 questions with my pigeon friend, Philip Fry. Okay? So first question is already answered. Okay? Where are you from?
I'm originally from Ohio, actually, but I live up in northern Arizona right now.
Okay, really quick. You don't say Philip. You just say Phil.
Philip, Philly cheesesteak, whatever.
And that's pretty cool. I mean, like to have a 2-syllable name. Phil Fry. Phil Fry. Okay, but I just, as a UPS driver, I'm always intrigued by all the different names. My last name is Datanagan, so I got a bunch of syllables, but that's really cool. And enjoy the Phil Fry. Okay, so you're in Arizona at the moment. Were you born and raised in a certain area?
Montpelier, Ohio was a little town I'm from, actually. I lived in Phoenix and Tucson. I moved to Arizona when I was like 19. And
Oh, cool.
so I've been up in the northern Arizona for 12 years now. Built a off-grid house up here, and nice rural area and blue
You
skies.
and your
Great.
12 children?
Yeah, 12. I got four kids, not 12 yet, but yeah, it's a great place to fly pigeons. Not a lot of trees and a lot of ravens, so not a lot of birds of prey up here.
You mentioned ravens because here in Hawaii we don't have the bird of prey. Ravens kind of deter birds of prey, right? Correct?
Right? Yeah, yeah. They'll drive them off. They'll really get on their back and pester them all kinds of ways.
Oh, and they don't. Ravens are what? Not carnivores, but what? Do they eat other birds? Ravens?
Yeah, they'll eat meat and stuff. I mean, they'll eat the roadkill and stuff like that. But
Oh, interesting.
yeah, every now and then you'll see a hawk kind of flying around, but the ravens will get on them quick and push them out. So I'm real lucky in that way, because I don't belong to any race clubs. There's no race clubs near me. I'm
Mm.
still pretty far away from Phoenix. It's like 250 miles away, so I can't participate in the race clubs. But I do white dove releases, and I'm still releasing my homers. So I don't want to lose my birds to, any kind of BOPs, loft flying, stuff like that.
BOPs is birds of prey, just in case anybody who's listening, right? Birds
Not
of
the
prey.
bird of
Oh,
peace.
yeah, yeah. So, what's the difference between a crow and a raven?
So I've always heard it as a crow is a bird with a beak, and a raven is a beak with a bird. The raven's just got these,
Raven is a huge.
yeah, big
Oh,
beak, and they're a lot
oh.
bigger bird too. I mean, the whole size of the raven is they're a pretty good sized bird.
So ravens are just pretty much. I mean, I was in. I just went to Disneyland and I seen a whole bunch of those birds, but that's our crows.
If they're really, really big, then they're ravens. But a lot of the times, like in Phoenix and stuff, I'll see crows, which aren't, they're all black, but they're pretty small.
And do they have different sounds?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So we did an interview with Professor Wasserman when he was doing the whole IQ test on pigeons, and we're going through all the smart stuff that pigeons are doing, and he kind of popped our bubble at the end. He was like, actually, ravens and crows are even smarter than pigeons. They kind
Yeah, I heard.
of they
I
they're
heard that.
they're
Oh,
even peaking higher than pigeons.
so what's the difference between a pigeon and a dove?
Well, that's just a family and genus thing, right? So pigeons are doves, though.
Okay, good. I do a lot of mentoring, a lot of public speaking. I always say all pigeons are dove, but not all doves are pigeons.
Right.
Get it? So I'm always doing the pigeon dogs, Chihuahua, Great Danes, dogs. I say doves. It's not real, but then for the general public, doves. You got the small zebra doves and the pigeons, doves. It helps. If you're asking the question, any answer will do. Going back to where you're from, what is Phil Fry's favorite breed? Let me
I mean, I kind of keep coming back to it. It probably would be parlor rollers. I still breed and show the zitter halls because I'm part of a state club that does all breed showing, and I can't really show parlor rollers. And even though there is another member in our club that does breed parlor rollers, and we kind of compete whenever we get together at our shows, if I was just bringing parlor rollers and putting them in the show pins, it'd be kind of silly. So I do breed zitter halls for the sake of having birds to show and to take to shows. I really love performing birds. So even in like with zitter halls, I'm still hitting that performance check mark. They're both performing
okay,
birds when you put them in the cage,
cool. What is another name for Zitterhalls?
like Stargard shakers
Yeah,
or
good.
neck shakers. Yeah, I know about the breeds I breed. Don't ask me about other breeds.
The next question, the fourth question, is your favorite pigeon moment. You could be something as small as the first bird, your biggest win. Just what is your favorite pigeon moment?
So actually behind me, so that's the fortune telling pigeon, and behind that cage is my other breeding cage where the parlors are. And in their cage, I was actually happened to be in my shop that day, and I got to see those babies like actually hatch out of the eggs. So I've just been really excited about that pairing, those babies, and I actually was in the shop at the time that they hatched. So that was a pretty exciting moment for me
I have a video on my YouTube channel. Got a lot
uh,
of views
of
of
hatching.
the hatching. Yeah,
That's so cool. Get there at the right time.
yeah. This is way back when my son is 20. He was only like 2, so 18 years ago. It was old. iPhones wasn't even around. It was an old camera. I don't know how I did it, but uh, really grainy. So I say that to a disclaimer because it was an ugly, grainy video, but still I got it.
It's vintage. Nice.
Yeah. So really quick, you got pigeons in your house.
Well, this is my shop, so this is my
Oh, okay.
this is my area out here.
Your
This is
man
where
did.
I do all my recordings and stuff.
Oh,
And
okay. Is that an NPA poster right there? Is that an
yeah,
NPA
that's the
poster?
breed poster right up there.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Right on. Not to go sideways, but what is the difference between a parlor roller and a parlor tumbler?
So the tumblers come in a couple of different varieties of their own. The ones that will flip once, twice. I don't know if they break it down to the three, but they'll actually just do a backflip, and the judgment on that is how clean the backflip is from where they start with their feet down when they do the flip and land, how far apart that distance is. So those are tumblers, and the rollers will continuously roll on the ground. And then the competition with that, of course, is just distance from starting point to end point.
Then that's the true starting point to end point because you just mentioned about going in circles. So if a bird could go round and round and round and round, you won't you would just trace from starting point to end point. It's funny, but that's how it is, right?
Yeah,
How did parlor roller, parlor tumbler get its name?
I'm not sure. That's a good question,
Yeah,
actually.
you always have hear stories. So my story that I heard was it was in a parlor when a guy was doing the parlor tumbler, bunch of guys in a bar or a bunch of guys in their house, in their parlor or living room. That's how it could. Fifth and final question. Of course, this is just the beginning of your interview. What would you want to say to not the newbies, not the people that you don't know? What do you want to say to your grandchild or your great great grandchild that might be starting to raise pigeons and you have gone to the other side? What would you want to say to Philip Fry the Fifth?
I hope they keep that name going. I would say just it'd be almost for anybody in the same way that there's a lot of breeds out there and a lot of different ways to compete and a lot of ways that these birds can just be really fulfilling for people. So I would say to that person,
No, not just that person, your grandchild.
my grandchild, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so
Oh,
that person. So I'm just
okay.
broad strokes here. Just go through until you find one that clicks because eventually you know how it is
Yep,
one will click
exactly.
with you, and when you find the one that clicks and the one that you're supposed to be working with, then everything falls into place. But if you keep working with one that you're not supposed to be working with, it can be frustrating and you don't really want to put the energy in. So find the one that you really are passionate about and enjoy it.
Good answer. A lot of times people tell you, "Oh, don't get this because it's ugly. Don't get that because it's." You get the breed, you get the color that you like, because who pays the feed bill? You.
Right.
So when you on a hard day of work, a hard day at home with the family is not going right, you run away to your loft, you see your favorite color, you see your favorite breed, all else goes well. So that's my thing. Okay, now we are on bonus rounds. Okay, thank you so much for that. 5 questions, you answered it awesome. We had a conversation this morning. Destination show or bucket list show. Does Phil Fry have a destination show or a show that you have yet to go to, like Germany, New York, Hawaii, something? I mean, it doesn't have to be just a fancy show. You could go to like a South African race. You go, all the different races nowadays, one laugh race. It's an event. You can actually sit down, have a barbecue, and the birds fly in. What would Phil Fry? Maybe you went to that bucket list show already, but what would be your bucket list show?
So they got that Blackpool in the UK, which is like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of people talk about that.
really big, and that gets really.
Explain about that because not everybody knows about Blackpool, where and what it does.
Yeah, and so I've kind of tried my best to find out more about it because the people who go to it, like they go every year and they
Yep.
plan for it. It's a really big deal.
Jim Jenner goes there every
Yeah,
time.
it's over in the UK and it's more than a one day show. It's a few days. Yeah, I've seen pictures and stuff like that. It just seems like they have it's a nice venue, Nuremberg, Germany. It always seems like they do a really big show over there. So one of those two would be really fun to go to. Outside of the States, honestly, that show that I just was at down in Mexico, I'd go down to that one again just to go check it out
I was
because
worried about you on that one, but
the
buddy.
Aguas Calientes was nice, man. I was walking around down there. I'm like, man, this place it's nicer than Phoenix. It was a nice place and people were friendly and stuff. That was actually a really cool show too. But I'd probably say Blackpool just because of the size.
Before we go on the Blackpool again, that show in Mexico. Who was your host? What was the official name? Where it was? Where was it? Yeah, it wasn't just a pigeon show. It was a kind of event. Can you explain what
Yeah.
you did a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, so that was back in the end of October. This was the FMC, the Federation Club of Mexico. So it's kind of like their NPA.
Okay,
This was their kind of grand national show, and they tied it in with. So they had a large chicken show on the side, but it was also part of. They had the Festival of Skeletons, which is kind of like what we would know as like the Day of the Dead sort of a thing.
hmm,
And it
I
was a
see.
whole big festival, and that was all together, like all literally under the same roof. So it was a really nice venue. They had a lot of, it was over 600 birds, over 50 different breeds. I was surprised they had like rare breeds there. Zitterhalls were there. I'm biased towards the Zitterhalls. I thought that was pretty cool. Figuritas. So they had a lot of really neat to see some of the rare breeds there. But then like the barbs, they had a ton of barbs, German beauty homers. They really excelled in those. The frillbacks, some of the frillbacks were just, next
Cheerio.
level.
Real.
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, yeah, they really were at that level with it. So that was a really good show. And I like the area, I like Mexico.
Who was your host?
That was the FMC club. And then Jorge Nunez was kind of the head on that. And he really took care of me through the whole thing.
Okay, and then Bobby brought you also, right?
Yeah,
You
Bobby was the other judge of the show. And, he's judged that show a bunch of times, so he kind of showed me the ropes on how they get things done over there.
good. I'm happy for you, and you beat me on that. Many shows invite me. I never went. The Middle East, the Dubai, not Dubai area or the Bahrain. I've yet to go. It's just that the wife doesn't want me to go. So one day I'll go. Maybe me and you go. We
There we
go
go.
to
Let's do
yeah.
it.
Okay, great. And going back to Blackpool, that is like a primarily a racing bird show, or
It's more racing. Yeah. It's really big over there. And plus the history with the racing over there, way further back than what we have over here.
hmm,
And then a lot of the original like bloodlines are coming from that area too,
hmm, I
that
see.
we're seeing crossed and crossed and crossed by the time it gets over here. That'd be really neat to see some of the origins of that.
I come from the school of if you bred it and I do successful, that's the Fry bloodline. If you bred it and it's not successful, that's Cameron's bird.
There
So
we
a
go.
lot of times you'll see, I mean, again, I'll ruffle a lot of feathers. People say, oh, that's pure Pensum, pure Pensum. Mr. Pensum has passed away many, many years. So he didn't never bred a bird for a long time. Yes, you could be having the same bloodline, but sometimes when you cross it, might never be the same.
It changes so much too.
Yeah, but like when at the Blackpool, you're getting the it's from there. Some of the
Yeah.
and their races is very competitive. With that's pretty cool. Okay, going sorry, we went the other way around. So your favorite bucket list show would be a European show, right?
Yeah.
One of them. Okay. How about the show in Hawaii? No bucket list show in Hawaii?
You do put on a good show over there. I would have to go down there. And I've never been to Hawaii too.
Oh, even better.
I always
Yeah.
feel like I mean maybe you can tell me, but I always feel like it's is it gotten real touristy though? Like
No,
if you show
no,
up down there, I mean
it's almost like me telling you, is Arizona really hot nowadays? It is, and it's not. It's same depending where you go. Of course, Vegas is the strip on Vegas, but if you go anything outskirts, it's the same gambling. It's the experience. So if you're looking for the Hawaiian experience, there's much more than the Waikiki Strip where all the tourists go. What is your bucket list breed? Not your favorite breed, but what is the breed of pigeon that you're yet to acquire? What is one breed that you say, shit, one day I'll get?
it's kind of a two-part thing where I've always wanted to get nasal tuft pigeons
Oh,
and strap on the old pigeon whistles like the
yeah,
actual bamboo
yeah, yeah.
style, and because that's what they originally flew with was the nasal tuft. And I like the look of them. I think they're really attractive looking birds. But for whatever reason, that was the breed that, like in Beijing, where they're really doing that old, artisan gourd crafting of the whistles. That would be the combination. Nasal tuft pigeons with the bamboo whistles. I thought that would be
Oh,
something later on down the road, some point in time.
well, cool.
Mm.
Okay, your bucket list is a European show, and your breed is a nasal. You want that to happen? That can happen. Okay,
One of these
you
days.
be careful. So let's do the first. The first. I call this the first because hey, Phil Fry, what was your first pigeon?
White homers.
Okay, I know. Did you have like one, did it have a name or you just had white homers?
Yeah, I originally started naming them all after car parts. So my first one was Boost. Well, not just car parts, but automotive terms. So I had Boost and Edelbrock was my first breeding pair.
Edelbrock. I had that sticker. Edelbrock stickers. Okay, okay, that's pretty cool. What was your first show?
I guess the first shows that I was going to was just the club shows here in Arizona.
Okay, but you remember your first show walking in and you're like, oh, what the hell's going on?
I was pretty excited about it because, I felt like I was looking for a while, trying to find something, no race clubs. Like I said, I was too far away from getting into any of the race clubs and stuff like that. So being able to check out a local club, but Arizona's big, so and where I live, everything's like 3 and 4 hours away.
So going back to white doves, because I my family does that.
Yeah.
Um, how often or how many birds do you release when you do a?
Got about 25, 30. So about just a couple crates.
And you
Yeah.
still do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We do we do primarily funerals. I do
Mhm.
weddings and birthdays, but when the person before we put the person down in the ground or before we spread or before we do whatever, I do like a little speech about what we're doing. We play some music the family chew, and then during the music, then we release. So just in case if you ever wanted to do that, that's pretty cinematic. I'll send you a video later.
I saw that one you did for Bill Henderson. That was really neat to see. That was really cool.
Oh, the video? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Okay. So, favorite. What was your favorite pigeon show you ever went to? The one back in when you met me at Oklahoma City?
The Grand National was pretty cool. I mean, that was the first time I went to the Grand National. That was huge. I mean, it was so big. 3 days, and I didn't go down every aisle, because I'd go down an aisle and kind of check out a few breeds, but then I'd stop and start talking.
My suggestion is you come first thing in the morning or you stay late, hook up with me. We'll maybe push some broom and get the chance to just be with the pigeons. Just look at them. Mike Tyson had the same problem. He walked down, hey Mike, walked down, hey Mike. He never enjoyed. He enjoyed it, but he never had a real chance to be embrace that show. And that was I think almost 8,000 pigeons when he came. Was at the L.A. Ontario. So you enjoyed the OKC show then, huh?
Yeah, no, that was really cool. I think so I got there early and it was kind of funny. We were setting up cages and we were not setting up cages. I was setting up with I didn't know it was Paul at the time and he was just asking about what breeds I had and I said parlor rollers and he's like, I got parlor rollers too. And I was like, man, you never hear about other parlor roller breeders and here I am like setting up cages and then he was like, told me his name. I was like, oh, I know who you are just through talking to other parlor rollers, it's Paul Gamino. And so, it was a really great way to get to talk with him and meet him. And I ended up scribing for him when he rolled his birds. And at the time, I was like, I knew that the association was down. So I was like, I didn't know that you could bring parlor rollers to the Grand National and still compete in that way.
Mm.
So that was pretty cool to actually meet up with him and get a scribe and watch his birds roll at the Grand National. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool. So the pigeon hobby is very unique in ways that just pigeon hobby. Period. You can get a person with low income or just not as much blessed. You can get a millionaire. You can get a regular person, and you can get a famous person. Yeah, so that's pretty cool that you even had that opportunity.
Although I will say that, like, especially in the racing aspect, right? How they always say that pigeon racing is the poor man's horse racing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe it used to be, but now that they're selling birds for, 3 to 10 grand is not even a big deal anymore. And now they got those other birds that are selling for, over €1 million. It's like that's not really a poor man's sport.
It just became like that because it's fun. You somebody here in Hawaii said if you wanted to know where your husband is every weekend, every afternoon, every evening, get him a pigeon. Because if they're dedicated, they're never gonna go to a bar. They're never gonna hang out at their friend's house. They might hang out at the pigeon club, you know what I mean? But yeah, so it does take your money. At
Yeah.
least you know where your money's going. One of my next question is what was going still being on the first, what was your first competition, being at race, roller, or show?
Well, the first would have been when I started showing birds with the Arizona Pigeon Club.
Oh, okay.
I kind of I would have my son tell me which one of my homers would get home first. I'd kind of be competing against myself when I would do releases, just to know which one of my homers was getting back first. But as far as like officially competing, it would be through the Arizona Pigeon Club when I started showing with them.
Oh, that's cool. Going with that said about your the knowing which bird would be coming in first. If you know which bird will be first, you're doing something right because you know your birds. So you always want to know in racing wise. A person told me way back when you should know which is your best bird because if you don't know which is your best bird and somebody chooses, or in a show somebody chooses another bird, or you think this bird, the red bar or the blue bar is going to make it home first, and that's the last bird. Maybe you got to rethink of what you know. So it's always good to keep track. You know how Arnold Schwarzenegger became big. He always kept track. A lot of these pigeon guys keep track of everything, right?
Yeah, good records.
They always keep good records because you always need to know the breeding pair, what's good, what's bad, what did you feed them that week, what did you feed, well, what kind of water did you feed, grit, no grit, bath, no bath. A lot of guys don't give their birds bath during the season. Some guys do. When you give them a bath, what kind of things you use. Here in Hawaii, some guys use the dog shampoo prior to the show, a week prior. Some guys use 40 mule. Have you ever tried that Baraxu?
Yeah, that's what I use. Yeah, that's a pretty popular way.
Yeah, so Adams, if you're giving a bird to someone, spray that Adams flea spray underneath.
Mhm.
The diatomaceous earth,
Oh yeah.
that's a big thing. Yeah, so all the little things that you're helping with your podcast. My last final series or section is what's your family ties? Did your dad have pigeons? Does your kids have pigeons? Or what would you want to see in your family? Does anybody have pigeons?
Yeah. So I mean, I always jokingly say there's like two types of pigeon people, right? Like one is like the royalty, where it's like you're born into it. Your parents had pigeons, which I wasn't. I came into it as a side hustle with the white doves, and then you get the pigeon bug and you go down that rabbit hole. My kids, so my oldest son, he shows American Bohemian powders.
Oh,
Yeah, so he likes those. It's what he shows. He's been talking about wanting to get into capuchins and try some of those. My youngest daughter, she's the one that she handles all my young birds, so she loves holding the babies, and that gets them real tame. I mean, they definitely have the opportunity to handle the birds, and if
yep.
they get the feel for it. Like my older daughter, I don't really think it's kind of on by, even though she's the one who does a lot of the feeding in the lofts and stuff like that. She maybe that's why she doesn't like them so much because they're a chore for her, you know.
It's
But my
work.
yeah, my younger daughter, she's been getting trained by the older daughter to take on that role, and she digs it. She really likes the birds, especially
Oh,
the young birds.
all good, good. My brother, he helped my dad, but he never was responsible as much as I live in a bad part of town, and anybody can say in part, but in my town, I live in the bad part. Eva Beach itself is rough, but I live on a rougher spot. I seen my first dead body at 5 years old. People die right in front of my house, and it's not because it's just because of circumstances, right? But the thing is, my parents made it so I was always busy. Pigeons made me busy. I never was gallivanting or running around because I had to come home before the sun goes down because I had to release the birds, train the birds. They used to have to come down, we have to feed them, give them water. By the time everything is done, it's night, and I wasn't allowed to go out at night. So it was a trick. They did it.
That's
So
smart.
yeah, so I'm glad that your family's in it. Does your wife have a favorite breed?
I mean, she kind of laughs at him, right? Like some of the goofier breeds, like she'll get a kick out of. My fantail specifically, she'll always kind of get a chuckle. I have a one of my Averys is I have it built so it's right in front of my porch. So I like to sit out there, have a cigar, and just watch the fantails come out, and they always kind of make her laugh. So I'm like, hey, you enjoy them in your own way.
Yeah. Okay. Good. What's your favorite color? Sorry, extra questions. What's your favorite color on a pigeon?
I actually really like the blue bar.
Oh, really? Basic.
Yeah, going back to that ancient, look on them,
Yeah.
and it's really clean too. And it's just I like that color. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, so you are more of a racing or like they call it the waddle, the racing. pigeon, white dove, right? Now performing birds, right? In
Yeah,
ways.
I like performer birds. My Zitterhalls, I like the all black Zitterhalls because
Yeah.
they're already a really tight feather bird, and so that just really shows off their form really well. For my parlor rollers, I got so that all black bird looks pretty sharp on them too. I got some splashes and colors are pretty, almonds and stuff like that. I can see the attractiveness, but I definitely like a more self-colored bird.
What about the west of England? Not that, not no west of England yet.
No, no, I'm not that deep in the color.
Okay, so my last question: what can you name the type of breeds or the breeds that you had handled, owned, sold throughout your pigeon career?
So the ones I think about a lot would be I did have English magpies for a while. I know they're like
Oh,
real stunning
skittish,
bird, beautiful birds.
skittish like crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty skittish. Archangels, I've had archangels in the past. They're real flighty too. I've bred old German owls. I definitely kind of went through the ringer of the American show racers. Whenever there was a swap and sell and a bird kind of caught my eye, Indian fantails. I've tried out quite a few different breeds and gone through them.
Go get that show type homers. No, those are nice.
Yeah, those are good looking birds. Yeah, good color, and they seem to be pretty good breeders and stuff too. I'm trying to really, limit focus on just the several. Like I said, I have my show breeds that I show. The reason I'm doing homers, I have homers for to help also with my white dove releases for training all the young birds and stuff like that.
Right.
I
Okay, good.
have the white homers for my dove releases, but and the parlor rollers, for that's really where, I think that's one of the most, they excel in performance, in my opinion.
So when you come to the national, you're coming this year, right?
That's
Couple
right.
months, right?
Yep.
Um, Lonnie, Lonnie Mefford, the guy who was with me. Well, I actually I was helping him. He does white dove releases. In LA, they have I think they have over 2,000 white doves, something
Oh,
like that.
wow.
Yeah, they have a huge because they're constantly releasing. It's a huge organization or operation. Okay, how about for your son, the one like what the Bohemians? Have
Yeah.
you ever tried the old German cropper?
No, he's never gone after those.
Yeah, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, right? The
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Those are
that's pretty
impressive
cool.
birds for sure, yeah.
It's like the wingspan is huge. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a pretty cool loft. He's got a nice big aviary that he can walk into and be surrounded by the birds. And we just
Okay.
put up a few new. He built these nest boxes. I bet they weigh, oh man, like 30 pounds each. I was like, what did you make these out of? But
How
they're
old is he?
he's 12.
Oh,
So
cool.
he was giving me all the measurements, and I was cutting the plywood for him, and he was screwing it together, and I picked it up. I'm like, "Is the drill in this thing?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "That box is ridiculous, man."
Right
But
on.
yeah,
Congratulations.
he built some nest boxes. We threw some more up there. So yeah, he wants to. I think he's trying to get some more colors in the Bohemians right now.
Okay, so I think I'm done with my interview with my special guest because I was a special interviewer. I'm just so happy and honored to in Hawaii you call it talk story. It was a great conversation. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I think you did a great job. I appreciate you having me on the show. You're an excellent host. I love the podcast.
What's next with Phil Fry? What's next?
I want to keep on the podcast. I really think that this is, I'm getting a lot of all positive feedback on it. People really are finding it helpful, and I think that's awesome. I think that's, like I said, I want every episode to be like a chapter in a book. So if you're struggling with whatever, you can scroll through and find what you need and breed whatever, sickness, loft stuff, whatever. So I want to keep doing that. Trying right now, you're helping me a lot right now with trying to restart up the American Parlor Roller Association. So I'd like to see that club take off again and actually start competing.
How old is that club? I never asked you.
I got the old bulletin somewhere right
Just
here.
kind of
It's
roughly, what, in the 20s?
Yeah, it goes back to the early 1900s. Yeah, so I mean, it's an older club, and it just kind of fizzled out in the early 2000s. It kind of happens with clubs where
Yeah.
some of the senior members go away, and then the spots don't get filled, and the club goes away. So, but there's a big interest in parlor rollers. People are really interested in that breed. It's a pretty exciting breed, and it's a different way to compete. Birmingham rollers they got a really strong following. And that's the kind of competition. Racing, that's obviously got a real big following, strong competition.
I think the Birmingham roller, the one of the reasons, because you can't go to everybody's backyard, but one of the reasons
Mhm.
it's staying so relevant is because there's a lot of articles, there's a lot of interviews, there's a lot of
Mhm.
multimedia exposure, videos, podcasts like are you doing, articles and all the different any publication on roller pigeon is always on there. They have their own websites, Facebook groups. So also with racing, they have their own thing. That's why I'm really into the fancy. If you can make sure we keep the parlor rollers in the front, it was always on the back burner of everybody's stove, if you know what I
Right.
mean.
Yeah.
So I'm like, once again, I'm very proud of you, man. You know that, right? I keep on telling you, just keep on doing it. One of my last things I want to tell you, and for your listeners, everybody is in a different chapter in their life. Everybody's in a different chapter in their pigeon career. Everybody has problems. So if you can check on that old guy that you've seen at a show, you've seen at a race, check on him. He might be overwhelmed with all these pigeons. He might be trying to get rid of his pigeons. He might want to teach you something. Our grandparents have a wealth of knowledge, but us kids, teenagers, 20s, we know everything. No, go back to everybody's in a different chapter in their life. You are still motivated. You are still passionate. I don't know about you said royalty, but I had pigeons since I was born. If I know a lot, I don't know. I know a lot of people. Your knowledge, your legacy will stop once you're dead. So one way you can keep the parlor rollers going, one way you can keep your legacy going is tell stories. Keep on telling, talking to people. Half of the people are going like, yeah, but half of the other people going like, what? So keep on telling stories. Is there a person that you would want to be on the podcast that you're yet to get? Is there a bucket list guy? Because you already got me. So yeah,
I
you
know,
can
right?
check.
I mean, everything's downhill now. I mean, that's a hard act to follow, man.
So what did you got Bob Nolan, you got
I've,
him, you got DiCarlo,
yeah,
Zillis, Josh Zillis, you got to get him.
yeah. I've asked him before,
He
and
needs to talk.
honestly, some of these like yeah, these people who have like so much to share, they're so humble.
Yeah,
Oh, what can I say? It's like, man, you could say so much. Just talk pigeons with me, and something's gonna come out by accident, and it's
yeah.
gonna be super helpful for somebody else.
Did you talk to Bill Henderson?
Yeah, yeah. I did an episode with him on Old
Oh,
German
see,
Owls.
see
Yeah,
right there. With that said, you never know.
right.
You never know.
For real. Yeah.
And I'm glad that you did. Wait, so who is your bucket list interview?
So I have been working with, I've been in contact with Mike Tyson's agent for months, right? The guy who handles all of his birds and takes care of all of his lofts and stuff. And, Mike knows about the podcast. Mike said that, he'll come on the podcast. And then it was like the whole Jake Paul fight came up, and then his schedule just boom filled up. And I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, you're doing interviews with these other randos who have nothing to do with pigeons. Like, get on here and do a pigeon one.
That means you are valued. He doesn't want to screw up on your podcast.
Right, yeah. So I'm still, it's taken longer than I want it to, but we're still working the Mike Tyson podcast. I think that would be really, because he actually does so much, promotion for the hobby. Just because
Yes,
when he says pigeon, he's saying it to millions of people,
yes, yeah,
and
yeah.
that he's done a lot for that.
I'll tell you a quick story. In the Ontario National, and once again, the technology was way weird. This is 2015. So I wanted to do my own like version of my podcast. So I was on Facebook Live and I was holding the mobile phone Facebook Live version. The app was really shitty. So on the laptop, it was good. So I had my camera, Logitech camera, Logitech everything, right? Logitech was big back then.
Represent.
I put it down. I went up to him. I said, hi. Well, I spoke to his handler because he already knew who I was because I'm with the N.P.A, right? But he never talked because all I say was, I'm John DiCarlo's friend. Once you say John DiCarlo's friend, then the handler lets you talk to Mike. So I have a video because my camera was on the side. He shakes my hand. As soon as I leave, he looks at his hand. Then he starts doing this.
Ouch.
And so I was like, wow, man, at least wait till I walk away. But yeah. just knowing that this human being can kill you with one punch,
Right.
it's very humbling, if you want to say it. Like,
Uh,
he just does his twist and boom, you're done.
I remember I met him at when he was living in Arizona. I met him at Scottsdale one time at a like an outlet area, and he was
Oh,
just waiting to get into a building. And I mean, with the tattoo on the face, I was just like, oh man, that's you can't miss. You know, it's totally Mike Tyson. So I went up,
you're working.
introduced myself. I went to shake his hand, and it was all happening real fast. And so I was like, oh man, you're shaking Mike Tyson's hand. You better put a little umph behind it. But it was like too late. So in the middle of shaking it, I kind of put an extra squeeze into it, but it was all awkward at that point. And so then he put a squeeze on me and about, crushed because it was like squeezing a rock, dude, like nothing gave.
Oh
But
yeah,
when he squeezed my hand, oh man, I like folded up and pulled my hand back and he kind of laughed, and I was like, I was just trying to, hold my own with you.
yeah. It's a thing. That's what they do. And you know what our next national is going to be, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make that, man. I mean, this is kind of why I'm putting it into this last one because it's pretty far after that.
We tried Arizona. We didn't find any venue. Yeah, so if you can help us find a venue.
I like the venue that you guys are doing it at in Oklahoma. That's a really nice place. It's a little bit squirrely to get back to that building. Like you got to kind of go through some stuff to get there. But once you're there, I mean, man, you can fit a lot of birds in that building.
As me and you were all the way in the back the last time,
By the juniors, yeah.
we're going to be in the front. We're going
Okay.
to be, the junior is going to be right next to the NPA. Well, not right next, but in the same vicinity as the N.P.A table. Remember the N.P.A table was in the
Hmm.
front area?
Yeah,
When you walk into those double doors, the word pavilion,
yeah.
when you walk in on the right, you're gonna have N.P.A tables, the conference area. Right straight ahead, you're gonna have the Valiers, and on the left, you're gonna have the pageant or the Parade of Champions. Behind the Parade of Champions, you're gonna have also us, the N.P.A juniors. The Parade of Champions setup is the same setup we use for the N.P.A auction. And just remind your listeners, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I like that. That's so much better than starting Thursday.
Yeah. So the main reason, do you know why we changed it?
I remember at the meeting it was to kind of accommodate people who from the public who wanted to come in, right?
Yeah. So it always was way back when. If you get the book, The 100 Years, it was always Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Hmm.
But there was a big movement. Hey, I want to catch the plane on Sunday. Hey, I need to be at work on Monday. So we were accommodating the pigeon people. But then after a while, the pigeon people wasn't accommodating the show. So we need to start accommodating the general public in ways that, show it and they'll come. You'll be able to hang out with us and maybe do about 4 or 5 podcasts. A lot of older guys don't have this technology, but you will be able to, again, make their legacy.
Yeah, yeah. Once it's on the podcast, it's on there forever.
Exactly, right there. You are doing such a wonderful job, and you just keep on doing it. Okay.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah. So when I'm gone, dead and gone, make sure you remember who I am now. I'm that fat guy from Hawaii.
What was your name again? Say it one more time.
Danananganan. Oh no, Dantanagan.
It's got a
Yeah,
real superhero ring to it. I like it.
I know. Anything else, my friend?
Oh no, no, this has been fun.
So thank you so much for joining the All About Pigeon podcast today with a special guest and a guest interviewer, Philip Fry, Philip Francis Fry. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Okay. Take care, man.
This episode of the All About Pigeons podcast is brought to you by the International Pigeons 2026 calendar by Nate Abbott, featuring real pigeons from around the world. No AI, no stock photos. This calendar highlights 12 beautiful pigeon breeds and celebrates the hobby we all love month by month. It makes a great gift for the pigeon lover in your life, and it's also a perfect item for your local pigeon club raffle or fundraiser. To get your copy, just search International Pigeons Calendar by Nate Abbott online or find it on Etsy. Thank you for listening to another ad-free, listener-requested episode of the All About Pigeons podcast. If you like the show and want to help it keep it going, as well as supporting your other pigeon promotional work, head to the website PigeonPod, that's pigeonpod.com. You can make a donation there. If you can't make a donation today, support the show by giving us a good 5-star review wherever you're listening to us at right now. That really helps the podcast and helps the algorithm get us out there to other people who might not know about Pigeon Podcast. If you have any episode requests, upcoming Pigeon shows, competition results, or you want to be a guest on the show and just talk about some pigeons, or you have a shout out for a friend, shoot us an email at staff@pigeonpod.com. Thanks again for listening. We really appreciate your support. And remember, together the hobby thrives. Support each other and enjoy your pigeons.